All right, guys, so this is Martin Zollinger from Reform Clinic in Ottawa, and I wanted to shoot you this short video about low back pain and give you some helpful tips, tricks, and stretches to help you manage your back pain. Because it might be a surprise to you guys, but I'm a chiropractor and I get my spine adjusted every week, and I notoriously will still hurt my back despite all the stretching and all the strengthening and all the adjustments I get done as a spinal care expert. And it just makes common sense, because hurting your spine in the neck, the mid back, or the low back is simply a matter of doing too much stress in that area and not enough care. Really simple. So I wanted to shoot this because today I pulled my back a little bit. It's been quite sore all day. I saw my chiropractor is feeling a lot better. But how many people in Ottawa right now suffer from back pain? Statistically, anywhere from 50 to 80. So I hope these stretches help you out a little bit to manage what's going on. I'll explain a little bit about what I do to manage back pain. And of course, back pain can come like I'm just stiff all day. It can come in real pain, pinching pain. It's been described as a vice around my low back. It can be sharp stabbing, like someone's going, jabbing me with a knife when I move incorrectly. So back pain comes in a lot of different ways, but I'm going to show you how I would manage them. Like, the first thing I want to explain to you, just really simply, this is a model of the low back, okay? And these are the joints of the low back. And these are the things that are incredibly important because they can pinch nerves, cause a lot of pain. And if there's subluxation or misalignment, you're just gonna live with a stiff back all the time. Pretty hard to see on video, despite Eric's excellent camera equipment. The joints of the low back, if I was standing here, the joints of the low back are facing this way. So that means they're very much designed to bend over this way and arch back this way. Okay, so that's incredibly important when you start getting yourself out of back pain. Very different than joints in the middle back, which are more like this, and then joints in the neck, which are more like this. So they slide, that's why you can look over your shoulders. So I hope that makes sense right away. So the first thing, if you wake up, especially in the morning with stiffness in the back, or you live with chronic back discomfort, the first thing you want to do is start using that range of motion. So in your pelvis, the simple thing to do is start doing pelvic tilts. So a pelvic tilt is moving the pelvis this way, so it'll kind of flatten the back, and then moving it this way, so you're kind of sticking your butt out and accentuating that curve, okay? So a pelvic tilt simply brings your spine into flexion and extension, and flexion and extension, okay? If that goes well, then the next thing you can do is take that a little further by actually arching your back and then rounding your back, okay? So arching and rounding. So once more, all I've done with this is, if I take this guy sideways, is I'm just starting to slowly open and close those joints, okay? So that's gonna help free up any pinched tissues, inflammation in the joints, etc. Okay? So if you're good with that, so now you're starting to get those little small muscles working around the spine. The next thing that I see a lot of is lots of tension in these big muscles down the side. And the best stretch for that is one where you're gonna take one arm and you're gonna reach way up overhead like this. And you may not be able to see this on camera, but you can also cross this leg this way. So in essence, you're making a giant letter C out of this side of your body, and it's gonna start pulling and opening what's called the QL, which is a big muscle in the low back, okay? So those would be my first three things I would do right away if you suffer from back pain, okay? Pelvic tilts, lumbar flexion extension, and then this giant opening of the side, okay? And then the very last thing I want to show you is the lumbar spine does have a little bit of rotation, and that's a tricky one because that's where people usually get in a lot of trouble, is they bend over and they rotate. So rotation is part of this, but a stretch I love to do, and I've shot this in a couple other videos to let people know how to move their neck, move their middle back, move their low back, is simply a really, really slow, gentle rotation, okay? And so what you can do now is, if you've gone through this, you're doing okay, you've done that side stretch, you've really opened things up, then you start with some very gentle rotation. And you have to go gently because these joints, they're not going to go very far, again, because they're shaped like this. So they'll only go so far and they won't turn much. That's why in the low back, it's a very small range of motion. I would do that both ways, okay? Okay. And those are the main planes of motion I would start off with as a spinal expert, if you will, someone who looks at spines and fixes spines every day. So I hope that helps you with your journey to keep pain-free. But yeah, anybody can get low back pain, and statistically, lots of people do. This is no substitute for a professional assessment, because along with all the stretches, you need your spine adjusted to make sure it's moving well, and that's a clinical decision. But these stretches will help you, especially if with morning stiffness, you're picking up the kids and you're noticing your back's not great. You can start kind of slowly taking the tension out of your back at home. And of course, if you need an assessment, shoot me a message. Share this out with anybody who you know that struggles with back pain, because this may help them a ton in their journey to keep mobile. All right, thanks guys. Bye.